trouble with Scotland?
Where's the cue ball going?
trouble with Scotland is that it's full of Scots.
Your assignment tonight is strategic. You can't give the enemy a break. Send them to hell.
When things look bad, and it looks like you're not gonna make it, then you gotta get mean. I mean plumb mad dog mean. Because if you lose your head and you give up, then you neither live nor win. That's just the way it is.
This is VP4 TV, a tactical genius production. Tonight is VP4 League Night. It is 9-ball and is a handicapped event. If you are interested in future league nights or perhaps as a possible sub for any of the current teams, then please discuss this with the relevant team captain. You can always ask in the chat lobby if you are unsure.
Well, good evening to Bill. Good afternoon, Bill. Welcome to VP4 TV. Well, my promo video last night pretty much predicted a bloodbath. There were no missiles, and there were no missiles to be repelled. Albinario schooled Stubb in how to play pool, and Stubb got a severe beating in the end. Albinario looks odds-on favourite for the title. He's now in the final in the 10-ball World Championships. But Stubb still may have a say. But if he doesn't realise now, when is he going to realise that he's got to step up big time to actually be competitive and put pressure on somebody like Albinario? But Stubbs got more worries ahead of him because he lies in wait in that one-loss side final, and he's waiting on the winner of the match tomorrow night at 7:30 GMT. It will be tomorrow night, 7:30 GMT. We have an all-UK match between Spectre Dawn and Barker's 155. The two of them are going to battle it out in a race to 13. And of course, the winner of that match will then have to overcome Stubb, or vice versa, if Stubb wants to have a second crack at Albinario. So tomorrow night, the favourite will more than likely be Spectre Dawn. His pattern will generally be that if the table's there, the balls are there, he'll try and find a way out. He's pretty successful at it. Barker's is also pretty successful at that, but it might be all the other factors in amongst that might just give Spectre Dawn the edge. But of course, we know how the break affects this tournament and has affected it. And for some players, it's been their downfall. The breaks last night by Albinario were pretty good. Stubbs wasn't too bad, but he just could not construct anything, and Albinario just feasted at the end of it. But anyway, that match with Spectre Dawn and Barkers is for tomorrow night. Welcome to Vertical Liquid. But we're now focused on the Saturday Night League Night. I don't know whether you've seen this one, Bill. Did you see this one? Just a little short one. Anyway, it is league night, and there are some teams in this league, not naming names, VP4 TV, who need a big turnaround because we've went downhill over the last few weeks. Steve-O has kindly agreed to sub for Tornado Tam, who informed me yesterday he couldn't make it. And Steve-O has got a lot to prove because things can't get any worse for him. All his last 6 matches he's played and he's lost. And I think the other guys are pretty much the same. Mark Sharp was our only winner last week. He actually got 2 points, but he got 1 by default because that was from a forfeit. There might be forfeits tonight because I haven't a clue who's meant to be here and who isn't here. It's good to see Fuzzy Dunlop here because he's not in the team, but in the VP4 team, but he's here for support. So we are almost at the top of the hour. Let's have a quick look. We've got VP4 TV against Breaking the System, 9 ball shots against Lovely Bunch of Coconuts, and Omega against Team Piñas. The worry is whether they're going to show up. But anyway, is 9 ball shots going to put a spanner in the works of Lovely Bunch of Coconuts? Because they're, at the moment, running away with it in terms of 6 wins, 2 losses. Breaking the System are 5-3. 9 ball shots are 4-4. Omega's 4-4. VP4 TV's 3-5 now, and Team Piñas is 2-6. But a lot of that has been down to forfeits and stuff, really losing them ties each week. So we await and see how things are going to go. So this league tab should fill up in a minute with all the matches. And them that matter will know who should be here and who shouldn't be here and whatever. But they should also be taking appropriate action if somebody isn't showing within the last 5 minutes and get them subbed if they've got one of their team members here. So there we go. The rooms are up. Steve of UK is playing Larry. Q Ball 181's playing Jover. Now let's look at all of these names. I don't see Q Ball 101. I do not see Jover. I see Christian, and Mark Shark was here. Mark Shark is there. Popman for VP4 TV. Where the hell is he? He's there. And Cobra is there. Sergresh is playing Mr. Bill. Mr. Bill is here. And Sergresh is here. Travelling TT has turned up. I saw him arrive. Vexor, he is there. Bankster and John Boo. Bankster is there. John Boo is there. Bobby Barris is there. And Vertical Liquid, of course, is there because he was in the chat, in the stream. And finally, Grey Slate. Now, Paul is here. And Grey Slate is here. So, I think there's a couple missing. The Cue Ball Jover tie. Oh, Cue Ball is there. So that only means that Jover hasn't showed up by the look of it. Quick look up and down just to double check I'm not blind. Right, that looks like the only player that hasn't showed. I think it's Food Bard. What the hell are you typing there, Bill? Or am I just reading this wrong? Let me get out my chair to read that. I think it's Food Bard. I'm playing Sarah. I guess I'm supposed to be playing Breaking the System. We're playing the wrong teams. Oh, Fubar. How do you mean? You're playing Sergresh. The schedule, the matches are up. Yeah. Now, why it has Why has those two matches not started? Let's have a look. I'm sure I said cue ball was here. Yeah, cue ball is here. And he's in the room. Vexor is sitting there in the chat. Now why... What match is he in? He's playing Travelling TT. Now, Travelling TT was here earlier. He's disappeared. That's why Vexor isn't in the room. Now, why is he hanging about though? He needs to get into the room. Let's have a look. Yeah, Vexor's sitting there. Go in the room. He's going to just sit there and not bother going in the room. Maybe he doesn't realise, but I assume he does. Yeah, Travelling TT was here earlier, but he's disappeared. Welcome to Sylvia. Well, that's strange. I'm sure he arrived in the lobby earlier on. Can I see him in the... There he is. There he is there at 18:52. 8 minutes to 7. He arrived in the lobby. And now he's not here, which is a bit crazy. I mean, how dumb is that? What's happened to him? Has he get called away? Yeah, because his match with Vexor is up. And I told Vexor to get into the room. And it doesn't look as if he's paying any attention whatsoever. I sent him a PM. Okay, it wasn't in Spanish or whatever Filipino language they speak, but he's sitting there asleep then. So the way it's looking, both of them are going to forfeit because Vexor's not making a move. Travelling TT was here and is gone. So I haven't a clue what's going on there. Anyway, let's have a quick look and see how things are going. And I think what we should do is, rather than just randomly jumping backward and forward into rooms like I've been doing, I think for the purpose of this, we should probably focus on 9-ball shots against Lovely Bunch of Coconuts to see whether any of them can pull something out the hat against Bill, John Boo and Vertical Liquid. We'll get Bobby Barris playing Vertical Liquid. Bobby Barris is 1 up. He's getting the 8-ball. Bankster is 1 up against John. Oh, sorry, that's 1-all. And John Boo's getting the 8-ball. And Sergaresh is getting the last 2 against Bill. Sergaresh is 1 up. So we'll go into that match and have a quick look. And Sergaresh at the table, so he's about to go 2-0 up. It's strange that Travelling TT turned up all set to go and then has gone. So he's obviously had something crop up or been caught short. But we're already sort of 7 minutes into the league night. And that room will time out in another 3 minutes. And if Vexor doesn't go into it, I can't remember what Steve said happens. In the instance of both of the players not showing up. Trying to just tuck behind that 6-ball there, hasn't quite got there. Well, a quick reminder, I'll probably remind people more than once, but at 2 AM tomorrow morning, that is Sunday morning, at 2 AM, our clocks revert back an hour to Greenwich Mean Time. So before you go to bed tonight, if you're in the UK, put your clocks back 1 hour. You will get 1 hour longer in bed, unless you do what I do and just stay up an hour longer. It makes no difference. So don't forget to put your clocks back, because if, like me, you're working on Sunday, you don't want to do that before you go to bed. Sergaresh trying the kick, and Bill, I think he can just get to the pot and angle that one. Yep, looks like it. So Bill can't, I think, get enough of that 3-ball. And he's lucky he didn't scratch there, but the 3-ball's heading towards the pocket. I don't think it's got the legs. And, well, there's a line to get this cue ball down towards the 4. The only worry is the left side pocket. Unless he goes thin with a wee bit of inside, well, he's took the risk. He's well away from the side pocket, and that will do, although it's straight. He could have checked that and just come down the right side. The only problem with that one is the 7-ball might have gotten in the way. But this last 2 in Sergaresh's favour is a very good handicap. Because he really should be getting there from this position. Well, just go forward and back out would be the order of the day here. That way you're not doing anything fancy. I'll have a quick drink. So it's 3-0. Well, there's that first result through. Travelling TT has won that match by forfeit, so that tells me that Vexor never ever got into the room either. And in the end, Vexor was the only one that was physically here in the lobby, and he's fallen asleep. And in the end, it's obviously done by coin toss, and Travelling TT actually won it by forfeit. Well, that's crazy. That is crazy that... is he still sitting there? Yeah, there he is. Sitting there, of course, obviously, I mean, I don't know what time it is where he is, but he's clearly fallen asleep. And I don't know what the idea was of Travelling TT showed up. Who's his team captain? Maybe he showed up to try and let his captain... I don't know whether Travelling TT's a captain. I haven't a clue. Let's have a look at the teams. Where is that? He's the captain, which is even more embarrassing. Well, tell you, strange things are going on there. A quick update. Larry's now gone into the lead by 2 racks to 1 against Steve-O, who's getting the 8-ball. Popman is 2-1 up against Cobra. Popman getting a 7-ball. Mark Shark is 2-0 down against Christian. Christian is getting 6 and out. That's a hefty handicap against him. He's got hard work to do there, Mark Shark. The other matches, We've got Paul 2-1 up against Gracely for Team Pinas, and Jover is 1-1 with cue ball 181. We've got the match that we're looking in on with Bill and Sergeresh, and at the moment 9-ball shots are up in 2 matches. They're down in 1. So Bankster can still pull it back. He's 1 rack behind, but it would be a good first set of matches for 9-ball shots against Lovely Bunch of Coconuts if they could pull that off. Oh, did Travelling TT show up? I never noticed that. Well, if he's shown up, he wasn't long in disappearing, because I don't see him again. I don't see him at all. Nope. It must have been a quick jump in and a quick vacation, because I don't see him in the lobby. Anyway, back to this match. We've got Bill at the table, trailing 3-0. And of course, the problem is getting down onto the 7. He's got the nice angle to go up the right-hand side. 7 is blocked by the 8 into the top right, so it's just about getting the pace right. And I think that's pretty good. He's just a wee bit far, but again, he's got loads of room to have a shot in the 8-ball. Welcome to Bedhead. Well, the 9-ball's well off the rail, so this is fine. So Bill's going to get himself off the mark. And a decent enough break from Bill. The 1-ball has got half a pocket to go in. 2-ball has gone in the break, but he's going to have to move this cue ball a fair bit. Well, he's gone for the bank to try and come back, and that's pretty good. See if a replay works.
Let's watch a replay of that last shot.
That's not bad. And Bill should be back to within 1 after this visit. Everything's looking good. Now, again, anything but straight, and that's pretty straight. Now, the only danger with the angle that he's got is that if he's decided to go forward, which was by far the best idea, because if you try to draw that off the side rail, I don't think he had enough angle to do it, but that was a much more controlled shot to come down that left side and avoid the 9-ball at all costs. So a good response from Bill. 2 in a row. And this one looks dry. Now, I think the angle's still reasonable enough. If you can pot this one and just let the cue ball roll through, you'll have the 2 into the side, and that was well done. The only big problem now is the 3-ball. And the cue ball wants to run away. Now, if he was to draw off that, he'd probably end up here somewhere, I think. And it'd be a dodgy cut in the 3. Yeah, that's exactly what he's done. Well, this is make or break, because you'd like to think that if Segresh doesn't get this in and Bill sees this 3 ball, Bill's going to be out. And in goes the 3, and that just needs to drop the speed. That will do. Well, you've got to be careful with the 6 ball. Yeah, well, he's went around the corner, but he's now gone to bedhead territory. He's going to bump the 9. Well, I think you've got to use the 9 to draw off the 9 to come back into this end of the table. There's no way you want to finish up here. That's pointless. I think you've got to use the 9 to draw up the table, but not too much juice. Not too much juice, and that was an excellent shot.
Let's watch a replay of that last shot.
That was excellent, because that was just the right pace to get everything out of the way and keep the cue ball in play. So now kill the cue ball, and this is a good response from Sergaresh, given the chance. So he keeps his lead, stretches it to 2. What the hell have I done here? Hang on a minute. Wrong button. Well, a couple of balls in the break. The 4 and the 6 have gone. 1 ball is not great. Dodgy cut either way. Oh, that double kiss there has done Sergaresh a favour. Left it really awkward for Bill. Well, Bill went all out for the cut in that, and he was way too thin, and this is a gift of an opportunity here for Sergaresh. I mean, he's only got to get good on this 2 ball, and you would think he has to be down to these last 2. He needs to get off the rail though. Now, how's the angle in that? Yeah, he's just jacking up. Now, again, perfect little inside angle on this 3 ball. Just to get out for the 5. The 7 will squeeze in past the 9. Well, this is got to get past the 8 ball, which is done. Now this, you don't really want to hit the 9 if you can help it. It won't make a jot of difference, but it's brought it back into the table. So Sergaresh has responded well, and he's now stretched that lead to 3. And another ball in the break as well. And if that 4 ball goes in, it clears the path for the 1. The 2 is on. So again, the one that's going to win the rack will be getting from the 2 to the 3, and then getting out from the 3 to the 5, and then this rack should be over. Just got to watch the pace. Well, I'd be, let me have a quick look. I'd be just dabbing this to make sure I don't bump into the 8. I mean, if you bump it half ball, you're coming this way. If you bump it half full on, you're probably sticking behind it. He's going with loads of left English. And that bump in the 6 is going to kill him because he's going to be hooked behind the 9. No, he isn't. Got a little brush in the 9. Well, that was a lucky roll. And this is why the handicapping is so dangerous if you've got somebody who... Oh dear. Well, the commentator's curse has done that one. That was a poor one from Sergeresh. And that's let Bill off the hook big time. Oh, Sergeresh will be kicking himself there. That was bad. So Bill is going to be trying to rescue the situation here. He's still trailing by 2, but he has control, especially if he can get a ball in a shot. And I don't think he's got the first part of it. I don't think he's got a ball. But the way the 4 ball's guarded there, it's going to be awkward to get to. So you would think Bill's going to at least be coming back to the table at some point. Quick tab out. Larry's now 4 racks all with Steve-O. Cobra is 3 racks all with Popman. Mark Shark is 5-2 up against Christian. We've got Graceley 4-3 down against Paul. We've got Q-Ball 181 who's 4-1 up against Jova. And in the bottom matches, which is the group that we're focusing on at the moment, we've got Bobby Barris 5-0 up against Vertical Liquid. Bobby Barris got 8 ball. Bankster is 4-all with John Boo. And of course this match, so this could be a whitewash in this first set of matches for 9 ball shots if it goes their way with the Bankster John Boo match. Well, Sergeresh having to kick at the 4, and this might end up pretty nice. That will do. That's got Bill in a whole heap of trouble here. Now, can he get enough of the 4 to pot it? No, he couldn't. But how's his luck? It ain't too good. Now, this is a crucial shot here for Sergeresh. Potting the 4 isn't the problem. Now, do you take your medicine? Just go over to that side. That's exactly what he's done. Opened up the angle in the 5. Again, you've got to control this shot. There's a slight angle in this to stun over to the right of the 6 like that. And again, that was well played. But that's going to run far too far. And there's bits and pieces of players that are just a bit loose. Sergeresh there overhitting a couple of shots. And this is a crucial one, of course. I mean, he got anywhere good on that 7 ball where he was getting a rack, he was getting to the hill, but now it's a doubt. And, well, what a bit of luck there again for Sergeresh. Bill's not going to be able to jump that. That's far too far. And he's going to have to kick it out. Well, he fancies jumping it, so he's going to have to go shallow with the cue to get over this 8 ball. It's a big, big distance. I think he's going to think better of it because I don't think he can get there. It's far too far. Well, this might end up reasonably safe. And it has done. And that's the roll of the ball that you need. when you're in trouble. Sometimes you just got to give it a kick and then just hope. Well, Sergresh has committed a big boo-boo there. Let's see if this works. My little crickets aren't working again. So it's a gift and a half for Bill to get back to within one. Now let's have a quick tab out and have a look. We've got Steve-O 5-4 up against Larry. We've got Cobra now 4-3 up against Popman. We've got Mark Shark on the hill against Christian. We've got Paul 5-3 up against Grey Slate. Cue Balls 5-1 up against Jova. And in these matches at the bottom, we've got Bobby Barris 5-0 up still. Bankster is 5-all with John Boo. And Bill is chasing down Sergaresh. Bill's not hanging about. Just overdone it slightly on that 6 ball. But again, he's got loads of room to do what he wants to do. And just a little gentle roll through will bring him all square in this match. And Sergaresh was in a commanding position, but blew it. And of course, now Bill has the break. One ball has gone in. 2 ball and 5 ball are not set, but it can be made. Now, where's the 2 ball finish? And that'll do. As long as it doesn't nail itself to the rail, which it pretty much has done. That was well done. Now he needs another little controlled draw shot to come up the top side of that 4 ball. I don't believe he's going to leave any attempt at a combo here. Well, now I'm not. He's either play. I think he's playing the. He's trying just to play the lock up here. And Mark Shark has got the first point on the board for VP4 TV tonight. A 7-3 win against Christian. Oh, a great effort. A great effort by Sergaresh there. And he got covered. But Bill's come up with the answer there. Unfortunately, he's not had a lucky roll. That's terrible. Just having to duck. That was unlucky there for Bill. Well, that was very ambitious by Sergaresh, but this time he hasn't got the roll. So big shot for Bill to get this cue ball back up that table for a shot in the 7. Oh, he's controlled it well, but not found a line in the 6 ball. Sergaresh has got the same problem. And if he tries to go 3 rails forward with this, he'll end up hooking himself behind the 7. the 8-ball probably. He can use the rail in the corner and a load of spin, but if you go the short side of that 7-ball, that's what he's trying to do. And look at where he ended up. That's exactly what was on the cards. Even if he'd potted that, that's what he was going to end up with. Commentator's eye spotted that a mile away. And Bill's not made a mess of it this time. So Sergaresh was 5-2 up in this match, if I'm right in thinking. And now he's staring at defeat. And the result through Bankster and John Boo. John Boo has beaten Bankster by 7 racks to 5. And if Bill gets high enough, we'll give him that rack. So that result gives Lovely Bunch of Coconuts the first point in the board. So now it's going a bit pear-shaped for 9-ball shots because Bill's on the hill. Bobby Barris is still the favourite, but he's now lost 2 racks in a row. He was 5-0 up against Vertigo Liquid, so it's amazing how these matches can turn so quickly. It's 5-all with Steve-O and Larry in the top match for VP4 TV. Popman is trailing 5-4 against Cobra. So those matches are both in the balance. And it's Paul on the hill for Team Pinas against Graceley. And Cue Ball 181's on the hill for Team Omega against Jova. So very, very tight to say the outcomes here. It looks as if it's going to be shared with those other 2 matches. Bobby Barra still 5-2 up. And then, of course, this match, let's see what's happening. Bill at the table. And he's got no shot in the 3. And he just has to hope he gets lucky. But he hasn't. Now Sergaresh has a shot in the 3. Now this would really just need a stun across the table to play this 4-ball long. He needs to just stun this in. And it looks fairly straightforward to me. I mean, even if you just roll it with a bit of right spin, you've got to get behind the 4. No, he's not played it right. He's not played it right at all. He should have played the stun. And there's the result through. Paul has beaten Graceley by 7 racks to 3. Oh, great bank. Great bank by Sergaresh. Wrong button.
Things look bad.
Wrong
Let's
button.
watch the replay of that
Well,
last
we're not
shot.
going to see the replay. Oh, we are seeing it. We just caught it in time. And can Sergaresh deliver? Well, he's underhit that as well. But, I mean, if he cuts this in, he's got to be on the 8-ball. It's not a difficult cut to take this hill. Well, it needs to bounce now. It needs to bounce. And that's not bad. I don't think I'd ever miss this. I mean, this is a good one to cheat the pocket. It's going in all the time. Well, final rack decider. But Sergaresh straight away has come up dry. And it's looking like a 3-6 combo to continue the visit. I don't think there's much of a problem with that. But this first shot in the 2, well, there's the first defeat of the night for VP4 TV. Steve-O up against it against Larry. Larry has beaten Steve-O by 7 racks to 5. I think it was 5-all that match, so it went Larry's way in the last 2. Meanwhile, Bill with a 3-6 combo. Nice and gentle. And he's probably just going to come on. Aye, I mean, just straight across for the 4-up table, or down table, however you want to look at it. Oh, he's overhit that. He's overhit that by a bit. But he's come up with the next best thing, put his opponent in trouble. That's exactly what to do. Sergeresh fancies jumping this 8-ball. Now there's another result in. Cue ball 181 has beaten Jova by 7 racks to 2. Oh, that's a great little jump. Unfortunately,
play of that last shot.
no shot in the 5, because you've got no idea where the cue ball's finishing. But it was a great jump. Wow. Sergeresh has just got to at least hit it. I mean, that's the first priority here. He's got to hit it from the short rail, I think. Try and get distance between. Well, he's going the other way. He's nowhere near the line at all. And that's this match over. Quick look at the top matches. We can see it's 1 match all with VP4 TV and breaking the system. In the meantime, Cobra is 5-4 up against Popman. So that's a decide match in the first tie. It is 2 matches to 1 to Omega against Team Piñas. And 9-ball shots are looking for their first win when it was all looking very good. At one stage, it could have been a whitewash for 9-ball shots. And right now, Bobby Barris is still 5-2 up. That match is taking an age. I mean, the Vertical Liquids have been stuck in 2 racks for it seems like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But Bill is going to guarantee the points here. So Bill wins against Sergeresh, 7 racks to 6. And that's a bad one for Sergeresh because he had a big lead, 5-2 up, but couldn't bring it home. And that's now given Lovely Bunch of Coconuts 2 on the board. So now it all hinges on that final match. And Vertical Liquid from 5-0 down has now got it back to 5-3. In the meantime, Cobra and Popman are still going at it in that first tie. VP4 TV and breaking the system. So at the moment, the match scores are 1 match all between VP4 TV breaking the system. Team Omega 2-1 up against Team Piñas. And 9-ball shots from a good position are already 2-0 down. And all hopes are on Bobby Barris to pull it through. But as I say, he was 5-0 up. And Vertical Liquid is battling his way back into it. So, from what looked like a good situation for 9-ball shots early on, is certainly taking a real turn for the worst here. So he's got to try and pull it round. And meanwhile, Cobra's now in the hill against Popman. So that's I mean, you've got 2 heavy hitters in that team tonight. You've got Larry and Cobra. And the 2 strong players, plus you've got Christian who's getting a heavy handicap. So that's a tough call. Anyway, let's have a look at this Bobby Barris Vertical Liquid match. And Bobby Barris getting the 8-ball. They're not going to get there. No. And well, Vertical Liquid may well want to, is he trying, well, I would have tried to use the rail to create the angle to come away round the corner off this sport. Well, that's still a shot that works. Now, can he get anywhere near half decent in this 7 ball? Oh, he's brushed into the 8. Vertical Liquid running for cover, and that's, has that got there? I think it has. Looks very tight. Well, it's holding the line towards the 9, and I think it's, yeah, it's tight enough that there's not a lot that Vertical Liquid can do with this. Well, I don't know whether Bobby Barris is keeping an eye on his team score, but see, everything hinges on him pulling out a result here. So, in one of the other matches, the match we've just seen, we've had Sergeresh 5 racks to 2 up, and then losing the match to Bill, we've got Bobby Barris 5-0 up, and now only has a 2 rack lead. And Vertical Liquid, if he can pull off a shot here, it hasn't picked anywhere close to the bank line on that 7, and now Bobby Barris has his chance. Oh dear. Well, it's all gone wrong for Bobby Barris. The big draw, but not getting the line in the pot, which is the first priority. You've got to put the ball away. Well, this could turn into a very quick nightmare, this first session of matches. Because it's now going to be Vertical Liquid back to within 1. And again, this is not a typical 9 ball. You just have a quick look at the angle. You're cheating the pocket all day long, and it's going to go in if you just play it at the right pace. And that will go in no problem. Well, the pressure's on Bobby Barris now, even if he doesn't know it. Yeah. And Cobra has gone through against Potman, so that means now that VP4 TV are trailing again. 2 matches to 1 after that first session. Now Steve-O's up against Cobra, and Steve-O has got the 5 ball, but he's got to get to the table and take these chances when he gets them. And Mark Sharp's playing Larry, and Mark Sharp's getting the 8 ball, and that's tough in that because Mark Sharp's going to have to play well to get there, and Larry's already 3-0 up in that match. And Potman is going to be up against Christian because Christian's getting 5 and out against him, so Potman's really under pressure. And Bobby Barris is now all over the place. A straightforward pot and a 1 ball, and he's missed that by the country mile. So Vertical Liquid, well, if this cue ball can bump the 9, he'll have a shot in the 3. And he's missed the 9. But the cue ball's back into more or less the position he would have been wanting to be anyway, to give him a good angle. And now he has to avoid hooking himself behind the 6 or the 9, and that's the big ask here. Well, he's missed the 6. He's bumped to 5. He's left the awkward cut into the bottom left. Now, this has to be, again, a controlled pace shot because you've got to get up the table, but you don't need to hit this too hard. You've got to get the 5 to the pocket. And Vertical Liquids refused it, decided that he'd be looking for cover as the better option, and maybe he's right because he's got good cover. Bobby Barris gets the hit. He's not left it easy. And that's, again, way overcut. Now, can Bobby Barris hold his nerve here? Desperate to get another rack on the board to try and stem this tide from Vertical Liquid. 4 in a row for him. Well, I don't know. I mean, you can pot the 6, bump into the 8 and draw off the 8 here again. You've got to control the pace though. You don't want the cue ball to leak away. Well, he's bumped to 8, but just gone through, and now he's in no man's land. Well, and again, I know the shot I'd be playing here. I'd be potting this top left with inside left English to go 1, 2, 3, and down this side for the 8. That's a shot. And that's like a half-hearted attempt and not really sure what he was doing. That was that type of shot. And I'm afraid Bobby Barris has gone from 5-0 up. And it's going to be all square here in a minute. And of course, Vertical Liquid still needs a 9 ball. Oh dear. And would you know it, Vertical Liquid's missed the 8 ball by a mile, trying to hold for the 9. And he's left the 8 ball awkward. But Bobby Barris only needs the 8 ball, but he's got to watch the scratch if he's going to try and cut this. And he doesn't look as if he's cutting it. Yeah, that's a nothing shot again. And he's sort of at a loss in how to try and deal with these situations, and it's costing them big time. But this match has got to be all square now. So, if you remember at the start of this session for these two teams, we were wondering, well, I was wondering, if Lovely Bunch of Coconuts were going to be given a problem here tonight in this first session, because very early on there was a potential for it to be a whitewash in this first session of matches with 9 ball shots and Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. Suddenly it's 2-0 to Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. We had kept an eye on the Bobby Barris match while we were watching the Sergaresh Bill match. Sergaresh was 5-2 up in that. Bill came back 1-7-6. Bobby Barris was 5-0 up against Vertigo Liquid. And now it's 5-all, and Bobby Barris can't pot a ball. His nerves are all too short. Well, that's left Bobby Barris in a pile of trouble here. Really hampered over the 7 ball. Can't see the 1. But there is an angle to kick the 1, and it's not a difficult hit. Going up behind that 8 ball. But if he plays it at the right pace, he might just, if he gets the hit right, he might just push this down towards the 3 rather than slam into the 1. Well, it's going to be... I don't know what this is going to be. Will that squeeze in? I think there's room for that to squeeze in. Pretty certain that will go. Oh, that will definitely go in. Cue ball's got reasonable pace on it. So, Vertical Liquid has the first and a good opportunity. Well, for players of a certain standard, this is a good opportunity. And again, with this shot here, nothing to do with the cue ball, but watch the pace of it. Because the 5 ball can come into play. And that was well done. And now around maybe a couple of rails to get out into the table for the 5. The big concern though is what shots left in the 5. Now with this, I think you want to just get right into this 5 ball and come down the table, but let's have a look at the 6. There's no way that's dropping into the side. At least I wouldn't be playing for that. I think you've just got to get right into this and to miss the 6 and try and finish down here to leave a cut on it. Because I think you'll bump off the corner. Well, he got the cue ball there, but forgot the first priority is actually potting the ball that you're on. Well, Bobby Barris has watched this match almost slip away. Oops, wrong button. And again, I'm afraid the big letdown here for Bobby Barris is he apparently has absolutely no clue in how to deal with situations and trying to keep something safe. And you couldn't even describe them as attempted safety shots. It was just hitting the ball around the table and hoping you get lucky. So Bobby Barris has got an awful long way to go to improve his game, but he's failing big time there. And Vertical Liquid should be on the hill here. Oh, I think he's fine. That will do nicely. Well, the safest route's a draw to the rail and out, but he was quite comfortable playing the stunt. Well, this is a nightmare. His two teammates have come out of their matches with defeat when it was all looking good at one point, and now all their hopes were hinging on Bobby Barris. I think that when they were playing, they'd be looking at the scores thinking, oh, well, Bobby Barris is 5-0 up. We should be at least getting a point out of this. And all of a sudden, it's doom and gloom. How he got himself 5-0 in front is beyond me. I don't know how that happened. See, there's another one. And again, he's just way short of understanding what he's doing with this cue ball. He must have had a heck of amount of luck early on to have gotten himself into a 5-0 lead. And don't forget that this is still the first session of matches. So this match has been going on for an hour, which is ridiculous. It's actually an hour for this match in a first to 7. And we've still potentially got another rack to go. I think this is the longest race to 7 I've ever watched in VP4. Well, while Vertical Liquid's thinking about it, let's have a quick look. Well, we can see that Cobra's already 1-0 up against Steve-O. Larry's 5-2 up against Mark Sharp. And these guys, don't forget, I mean, Cobra and Larry, big heavy hitters. Steve-O's getting a 5 ball. He's now 3-0 down. Mark Sharp getting the 8 ball. He's 5-2 down. And Popman, who's given away 5 and out to Christian, is now 2-1 down. And I remember when I had one guy send me a message, and this was a guy who played in Friday Night 9-ball and he's never played in it since, but he was moaning about the fact that I was showing what I would deem to be better quality matches instead of like a match like this between these two guys. Well, if you ever want an example of why I don't sit and watch something like this in Friday Night 9-ball, here's your example. This is a race to 7. We're an hour and 3 minutes into the match, and nobody has a clue who's going to win. Well, we do now. Bobby Barris is going to square the match. He cannot miss this, surely. A 3-9 combo. The 9 is in the pocket. Well, that's a relief for Bobby Barris. At least he's got a chance to save a point. He's a long way from it, though. Well, I don't know. Somebody's got some amount of fireworks going on. I felt that through the floor. That sounded more like dynamite rather than a firework. At least it felt like dynamite. Oh, there's a fluke. The 8-ball gets nudged in. I mean, is there anybody still watching this? Has anybody got the patience to watch this? Because it must be the longest match. I have to say, it's the longest race to 7 I've ever seen. I've never seen anything as long as this. 40 minutes is a long time. Well, there's another result through. Larry's won 7-2 against Mark Sharp. So, breaking the system are now 3-1 up. And Steve-O is now 5-0 down against Cobra. So that's looking bleak. And it's still looking even bleaker as well for Popman. He's given 5 and out to Christian, who's now 4-1 up. And Popman's not going to come through that. Not given 5 and out. He's not going to come through that. So that's going to be a whitewash by the look of it. In that second group of matches for VP4 TV. We're going to get another hammering. We're getting hammered by 2 heavy hitters and 1 guy who's getting 5 and out. And that does nobody no good. Team Omega, they're 2-1 up. But Paul is on the hill for Team Pinas in the second match against Travelling TT, who suddenly turned up, it seems. Vexor is 4-2 up against Q-Ball 181, and Jova is 5-2 up. So it's looking good for Team Pinas in the second group of matches. This is the match that's going on forever with Bobby Barris and Vertical Liquid, and Bobby Barris looking to try and salvage a point. It shows you how slow it's going, because Sergaresh is 5-4 up in his second match against John Boo. That's how slow it's going. Well, Bobby Barris trying to hold his nerve here. Only needs to get... Well, I was going to say only needs to get to the 8-ball, but the 8-ball's gone because that was fluked earlier on. But he's got to run another 4 balls. And that's a tall order. He's not hit that at all. Not hit it at all. Well, this is still awkward. Vertical Liquid says in the chat, settle down, Hugh. Well, if I was you, Vertical Liquid, I'd be settling down to try and pot this and hold for the 9. That's what I'd be doing. And it's going to be a bedhead cut, more or less, for the match. And Paul has beaten Travelling TT by 7 racks to 1. Where's the cue ball going? Oh dear. Well, there's a gift handed in a plate to Bobby Barris to salvage a point. And that match took an hour and 10 minutes, and I never want to see anything like that again. Goodness me. Meanwhile, it's looking bad for VP4 TV again, I'm afraid. Popman trailing now by 4 racks to 2. I think he's got 1 back. We've got Cobra 6-0 up against Stevo. And Stevo's been hit hard by Larry and Cobra. And it looks as if that's going to be a whitewash. And so at the moment the scores are 3-1 to break in the system against VP4 TV. That looks as if it's about to change badly. Christian's now 5-2 up against Popman. And we've got Team Omega all square with Team Pinas, 2-foot matches all. And 9 ball shots finally got a match on the board. Meanwhile, their second set of matches, you've got Sergeresh on the hill against John Boot. So he's 6-4 up, looking like he might, I say he might be getting a point on the board there. Bobby Barris is up against Bill, and Bobby Barris getting 5 and out. So Bobby Barris has a chance there if he can pot 1 or 2 balls up against Bill. Bill should still be too strong in that case, and Bill's had to sit out for 40 minutes trying to get this match. So let's have a look at this Steve-O Cobra match. Steve has finally got a rack in the board for a wee bit of dignity. Get rid of that round fat 0. And he's had a ball. And the thing is, you know, Steve-O is more than good enough to be getting to the 5 ball here. More than good enough. He's just got to be careful and holding for the 3, which he has done. I mean, this is not difficult. Just a rolling in the 3, roll the 4 in, and a roll in the 5, and he's got his second rack in the board. And a result come through. Jover has beaten Gracelake by 7 racks to 2. Meanwhile, Steve-O breaks. But the bad news is he's come up dry. Now let's have a look at that. What team's Gracelake playing for? Jover 7-2. So Team Piñas have taken the lead with that win. They're now 3-2 up. Sergresh is now all square with John Boo. Sergresh was 6-4 up. John Boo's got it back to Hill. So that was the banker there, that Sergresh was going to get another point on the board for 9-ball shots, but now it's looking a toss of a coin. Meanwhile, Cobra has scratched, and Christian has beaten Popman 7 racks to 2. Christian getting 5 and out, and that was a tough handicap for Popman to try and deal with. He get hit hard with that as well. So it's now 4-1 to break in the system. And Steve-O has got his 3rd rack on the board, but Cobra, of course, on the hill now. Two ball in the break, a shot in the 1. Well, pot the 1, drop behind the 3, and he should be back to within 2. Again, this is not a difficult out for Steve-O. See, he's not held the cue ball there. He should have held the cue ball. He knows fine well he should have. He's chickened out and playing the right shot there, and he's letting it roll away, but he's got there. You've got to play the right shot to kill it and make your life easier. So Steve-O breaks off again, back to within 2. The 3 ball is gone, and he's got a dodgy shot in the 1 ball, because he's heading completely the opposite direction of where he wants to go to have a shot in the 2. But that, if it nudges in the pocket, that is handy. That is very handy. And now, if he can just hold his nerve, again, play the right shot, get right down past the 4 ball, and don't scratch, whatever you do. Totally impartial, of course. Now this just needs to be gentle. And just a gentle little roll in, so the cue ball doesn't leak away. And that's perfect. And again, a bit of top, a little bit of inside, just to go over, away from the 5. You see, he's not played the inside. Again, you can't hold back and play the right shot. And he didn't put the inside English on it to push that cue ball over this direction. And you've got to be able to see that. You can't be riding your luck that you're going to finish nice in the 5 when you can play the shot that will get you nice in the 5. And that's a big mistake there by Steve-O. And he knows fine well he should have been doing that. He got himself back into the match, and there's just a couple of shots where he's just not executed them properly to keep that cue ball under control. That other one where he sort of chickened out and killing the cue ball, okay, he got the cut in that other rack. And then that one there where he just didn't put that inside English on it to force the cue ball away from the 5 and open it up into the side. And he's gifted it to Cobra, because Cobra's never going to miss with what was left on the table. So that's another win. Let's have a look. Another win for breaking the system. It's now 5-1. But Mark should be kicking himself there. Steve-O, that was just not playing the proper shot, which you have to do. And he's been around long enough to know that you can't hold back and playing what your instinct tells you should be doing. Play the right shot. So, again, it's damage limitation we're looking for here tonight. And at the moment, we've got the round 3 matches starting for VP4 TV and Breaking the System. Larry and Popman have just started. Cobra and Mark Shark are just starting. Mark Shark getting a 5 ball. So that's Steve-O getting a 5 ball against Cobra. Mark Shark getting a 5 ball against Cobra. Now, both of these guys can pop balls to get to a 5 ball. You've just got to make sure players like Cobra don't have the opportunities. Meanwhile, Steve-O's about to start playing against Christian, who again is getting 5 and out. So these are tough ties to deal with. Popman and Larry, it looks as if it's a scratch match, no handicap, so Popman's under pressure to perform. Right, look at the other matches. You've got Team Omega trailing by 3 racks to 2 to Team Piñas. Vexor is on the hill in his second match against Cue Ball. And you've got Travelling TT 2-0 up against Jover. So Team Omega have a chance possibly to get into the lead here with their match. And further down, Lovely Bunch of Coconuts are 3-1 up. Mr. Bill is already 2-0 up against Bobby Barris, who's Bobby Barris getting 5 and out. Vertical Liquid is now 2-1 up against Bankster. And John Boo's already got the points in the bag in his match. He's finished for the night against Sergresh by 7 racks to 6. Tell a lie, he's finished his second match. There's still the third ties to come. What am I talking about? It's us that's in the third ties. So, Steve-O against Christian. That match doesn't seem to have started yet. What's happened to Christian? Well, Christian's here. Steve-O's in the lobby. He's hanging off, joining in the lobby. Well, I keep going back to what I said previously, Paul. Semi-Pro's the one that started it. He's the one that started all of this ratings thing when he started going on about getting my rating put up, and it's all backfired on him. I'll keep repeating it. But look at my team. Look at Team VP4 TV tonight. You've got Larry and Cobra. 2 of the best players in VP4. Plus, you've got the opposite side of the spectrum. You've got Christian, who struggles to pop balls, is getting 5 and 6 and out against my team, and my players are really up against it. We've been lucky we've actually won one match. And Mark Sharp did well to do that, giving 6 and out to Christian. And then, of course, you're asking Steve-O to get to the 5 ball, which, again, I've got no doubt that they're more than capable of getting there, but if they start making mistakes and giving these guys chances, that's how you're still going to end up losing. So you've still got to perform. Popman was always going to be up against it against Christian. Popman, I think, is our highest rated player, and he's given 5 and out to Christian. If Popman can't keep Christian away from potting any sort of ball at the wrong time, he's going to be losing racks, and that's how he's gone there. And now we've got Larry already 2-0 up against Popman. We've got Steve and Christian just underway, and we've got Mark Sharp with Cobra still in the first rack. Now, what's that match that's going on? Bexer and Cue Ball. Oh, that room's just finished then. We've just missed that one. That's a result that's just gone through. Cue Ball 181 has just beaten Bexor 7 racks to 5. So that means that Bexor has taken his team into a 4-2 lead. So Team Piñas are looking good at the moment. And a lovely bunch of coconuts are looking good again as well. They're 3-1 up. And Vertical Liquid is tied 2 racks all with Bankster. Now, Vertical Liquid's getting a 5 ball, but I would still think that Bankster should be the favourite. Bobby Barris has got 1 rack in the board against Bill. Bobby Barris getting 5 and out, but it is looking very strong with a lovely bunch of coconuts tonight again as well. And Larry now 3-0 up against Popman. Let's get in and have a look at that and see what Popman's doing wrong. Well, the first thing Popman's got to do here is somehow get this 1 ball safe. Because this table's wide open and whoever makes a mistake in this 1 ball should be losing the rack. Well, he's trying to get up over towards the 5. He hasn't got the legs, I don't think. But he's not left anything easy. Has he got cover? No, he hasn't. Well, Larry's gone for the combo. That was well done. And the 1 ball is still a very thin cut. Now, how does it look? Yeah, it's really thin. Yeah, he's thought better of it. And that's going to be hampered. And this is awkward to play this well, to try and keep that 1 ball safe. Now, if he doesn't want to set this too close to the 8 ball, and he's trying to use the 4, hasn't got full cover, but Larry will just cut this towards the 8 ball, past the side pocket. Well, Larry's took a big risk there. He's really pushed the boat out big time, trying to what looked like play the combo in the 8 ball. But again, here's an instance where, Popman, a 2,200 rated player, with ball in hand on the 1 ball, having to run this table to get on the board. And that's going to end up, well, he's got the spin on it, so that worked for him. Now he's got a nice angle. Again, should be on the 7, no problem. The angle's fine. No, he's just getting into that a bit too much. I mean, the angle, again, still perfect to get on the 9. I mean, he's just leaving himself a wee bit more pressure in the pot. Well, that was a big effort by Larry to try and play a difficult 1-8 combo, and ends up scratching. And it gave Potman a free go, and Potman has come through to get his first rack in the board. Now he needs a ball and a shot. Well, he's got a ball, he's got a shot, and he's got the table at his mercy. Now this cue ball has to get out far enough, or he has to stop it if the 2 goes past the 8 ball, which I think it does. It's about, well, we'll see this 2 ball going in and where he ends up in the 4. We'll have a quick look. And that looks pretty good. Right, this bottom match, lovely bunch of coconuts, 3-1 up. And Vertical Liquid and Bankster are tied at 3 racks all. Mr. Bill is now 4-1 up against Bobby Barris, so Bill looks as if he's going to have another point in the bag, unless Bobby Barris can get a roll of the ball and use those money balls. And in the second match between Omega and Pinas, Team Pinas 4-2 up overall. Cue Ball is 1-0 up against Paul. Vexor's 2-0 up against Grace Lake. And Travelling TT's 3-2 up against Jover. Meanwhile, in the top match, Mark Shark is trailing by 1 against Cobra. We've got Christian now 3-1 up against Stevo. And of course, Potman trying to get back to within 1 against Larry here. Where's the cue ball going? Oh dear, that is awful. That is awful, Potman. Terrible missing a 9. And that is hurting, watching that. That is painful. From a 2 rack swing there with 1 shot, he should have been back to within 3-2, and now he's 4-1. Larry's came up dry. I don't know whether that's any consolation though. Well, a sort of 2-in-1 shot there from Potman that ended up being. But Larry will fancy the jump here. And that did everything but go in. Although the cue ball has gone.
Good night, lady.
That's the wrong one. Well, Potman is just ducking for cover here. Oh, he's got to get the cue ball up there, which he's managed to do. Well, he's got to get rid of that shot in the 9 ball right out of his head. Well, you can see the two. He's got to be careful and use this 8 ball here to actually hold that 2 ball there. And, well, Larry, does this go past the 8? No, it doesn't. Because Larry would have fancied kicking that in off the rail. And I think Larry convinced himself to have a go at it. It was never going to go in. And this is not, it's not an easy table. It's a 4-5 combo up top. And that 3 ball's now open. And Larry coming to the table with the 3. He's going to be pretty good in a 4-5 combo. And he's got the cue ball into a reasonable position, although he's going to have to work it to try and get on the 6, but he's had a look at the 6-9 combo. He might be just, well, he's trying to get there. He's made a reasonable effort at it. I mean, he's going to be on the 7 ball, whatever happens. I mean, he just needs to pot the 6. The cue ball will do the rest of it and get on the 7. Oh, he's brushed the 9, but he's got away with it, I think. Just got away with it. I don't know whether Larry can avoid hitting a 9 here. Let's see. I don't think he can. I think he just see whether how thick he's going to hit this 9 ball. Yeah, well, that'll do it. Well, there's Bill has gone through comfortably against Bobby Barris. 7 racks to 1. Bobby Barris getting 5 and out there against Bill. So that's now lovely bunch of coconuts. 4 matches to 1 up. And in that tie, Bankster is 4-3 up against Vertical Liquid. So he's got a chance of getting another point in the board, although he's got a slender lead at the moment. And meanwhile, Cobra is 3-2 up against Mark Sharp in the top match. Potman is now 5-1 down, of course. And Christian, who's getting 5 and out against Steve-O, is 4-3 up against Steve-O. Larry's come up dry, called the push out. Now, if there's anybody out there still watching this, I don't think there's many people watching this, but quick reminder that tomorrow night at 7:30 we have the 1 lost side match in the 10 ball World Championship between 2 guys from the UK. Well, one with the England flag representing him. We've got Spectre Dawn from the UK against Bankers. I'll say that again. Barkers 155 representing England. Race to 13 tomorrow night at 7:30 GMT. Our clocks go back tonight or rather tomorrow morning at 2 a.m. We go back to Greenwich Mean Time, so I hope you can join us for that match. Now remember that the winner of that match will be playing Stubb to see who can get to the final and try and dethrone Albinario and prevent him from winning another major event. So make a note, and also bear in mind that if you can't be there for it, you will always find it on YouTube. You'll find it under the playlist. Last night's match between Albie and Stubb was already added to the playlist, so if you missed it, you can watch it. It doesn't make pretty watching if you're a Stubb fan. Popman at the table, looking to play a 2-6 combo, and it did everything but go in. Right, let's come out of this one. What match is in the balance? Let's go down and have a look at Bankster and Vertical Liquid. So Bankster looking at clawing a point for his team. Vertical Liquid getting a 5 ball, and as soon as I join the room, Bankster misses the 1. Look at the 9 ball. The 9 ball just waiting to be knocked in. Well, I think it'd be fair to say that Bankster should be in the hill if he can get anywhere near the 2 ball to play this combo. He just needs to hit any part of the 9 ball. He's got loads of room to take him to within 1 rack of another point. And he's hit the 3, would you believe it? Unbelievable. And he's gifted it to Vertical Liquid. Oh, it's amazing what happens. I mean, you would think there's no way he can miss that. And Christian has beaten Steve-O by 7 racks to 3. Christian getting, what was it, against Steve-O? Steve-O's been hard hit again this week. Yeah, Christian getting 5 and out, so it's now 6-1 to breaking the system. And so, Popman being 6-1 down, it's looking at 7-1. Cobra's 4-3 up against Mark Shark. And Mark Shark again looks like going to be our only hope for getting points this week. Mark Sharp having won his first match against Christian, and coming in the wrong end against Larry, as did Steve-O and Popman. Well, our Popman's about to, because Larry's on the hill. And Bankster gifting a rack to Vertical Liquid there. Although he's now got himself, I think, partially hooked behind the 4, has he? Yeah. Well, I think I'd be trying to jump over the edge of this rather than Massey in it. He's got the hit. Now, this could go ugly very quickly because you're going to bump the 7, but are you going to bump the 7 out of the way? I don't think so. I think that was what he was worried about. You had to make sure he could bump the 7 out of the way to see the 3, but in thinking about all of that, he's forgotten about the 2. Oh, now Vertical Liquid, who is getting a 5 ball, just needs to get back over to the same side of the table. Well, he's chosen not to and left a tough cut down the rail. But this to square the match. It's tough, Mark. It's tough both ways, because you're up against Larry and he's scratching the side pocket. You're up against Larry, you're up against Cobra, who's been put in there as a ringer. And then you're suckered against the other way by Christian getting 5 and out or 6 and out. So we were up against it. But there was a couple of shots there, Mark, where you didn't play the right shot, and you know you should have. You needed that wee bit of inside English to get the cue ball away from, I think it was the 5 ball, to take the 5 ball into the side pocket. But that's neither here nor there at the end of the day. I mean, never back away from playing the right shot. That's the one piece of advice I would always say. Had you played that with a wee bit of inside, you would have come away from the 5 ball. You'd have left an easy enough 5 ball into the side to win that rack. Go look at it. Look at it in the replay if you want. Well, that's the whole thing about it. It's when you think about it, every other day of the week, when you're getting a 5 ball against those guys, and you're good enough to be potting 3 and 4 balls to get to the 5 ball. There's no doubt about that. It's what you're doing in between times that can always affect it. But you know, the roll of the ball and everything comes into it, all of that stuff. But it's looking very similar to last week as far as the one guy that's getting the point for us. And Mark Shark is 4 racks all against Cobra. So Mark Shark's still in with a chance at rescuing another point at the moment. It's very tight, but Mark Shark getting the 5 ball. He's obviously been getting use of it. But Bankster with the 5 ball over the side pocket should have an easy path to get down onto the 6 and finish this match off. Well, if that's the case, Sylvia, you want to explain that to Steve, because the first thing he did after, and look at what Bankster's just done here, and ended up hooking poor Vertical Liquid behind the 9. You should explain that to Steve, what you've just said, because I won a couple of matches in the first week. The first thing that semi-pro panics to thinking that I'm sandbagging it in some way or other. He rants on it, Steve, to get the ratings increased, as far as I'm concerned. And so what does Steve do? He starts looking at everybody's rating. So it's all backfired. I mean, mine's was what, 2056 or something, and I don't play, so mine gets bumped up. Well, it's all over now. Unlucky to Vertical Liquid there. He gets hooked behind the 9 with a fluke from that miss from Bankster, and then he kicks at the 6 gets the 6 but follows it in, and then it's all ended in a nightmare. So anyway, we've got Mark Sharp 5 racks to 4 up against Cobra. The Potman Larry match seems to be dragging on, but it's still 6-3 to Larry. I think it's inevitable, the outcome there, unless Potman can suddenly get on a roll. But are we going to rescue another point out of this evening's proceedings? Mark Sharp in with a chance, Potman with a slim chance right now. Now, let's look at the second matches. Team Piñas 4-2 up. They're all into their final matches. Team Piñas are 6-2 up in one match, 6-3 up in another, and 6-5 up in another. So they can have the full bag of these 3 matches at the end of their session to win it by 7-2, which would be a good win for them. That'll probably put VP4 TV down in the bottom now. If Team Piñas come out on top, which they look as if they're going to do. And lovely bunch of coconuts, 4-2 up. And in the final matches there, you've got Mr. Bill just underway against Bankster. Sergeresh likewise with Vertical Liquid. John Boo's already 2-1 up against Bobby Barris. So 9-ball shots will be hoping for a little turnaround in these final matches if they can. Bankster, again, dangerous player. He's getting the 8-ball against Bill. Sergeresh is giving away the 5-ball to Vertical Liquid. Sergeresh has still got to be favourite in that match, so there's possible point there for them. Bobby Barris getting a 5-ball against John Boot, and there's 1 rack in it, so it's in the balance either way where a couple of points can go there. But the one I'm more concerned about is that it's now 5 racks all with Mark Shark and Cobra. Larry's still 6-3 up. Let's jump into that. Potman at the table. 7 balls going nowhere. Well, there's no answer to that, Sylvia, except blame Semi-Pro. And Paul has won that match for Team Piñas. He's beaten Cue Ball 181 by 7 racks to 2. So that's another point for them. I'll blow my nose quickly. No, I've been blowing my nose. Well, I'm surprised Cobra didn't try to jump over the edge of that 9. He's given Mark Shark a bit of a lifeline here, and that's poor. Unless it gets behind something, he has not played that well. I mean, that 6 ball should have been right onto the 7, and he's got nowhere near it. And this time, Cobra has got the cue ball on the mark, and this match is over as well. Well, Cobra gave him a glimpse of a chance, but Mark Shark didn't execute the shot properly, left the 6 ball in play, sold it out. And you would think Cobra's going to get on this 9 ball every day of the week. Well, he's left this a bit short again. And he's left this way inside bedhead territory here. But no doubt with the cut. So it's another pummeling for VP4 TV. Hit by the heavy guns. And Cobra been put in. So it's a... What the hell's happened here? Alright, that's the first match that finished. Now I know where I am. I'm a bit confused there. I was going to look at the tie at the top. Now it's the first match that the first tie that's finished. So that can't be right. Aye, because those matches are still playing. The other ones are the ones that are finished. Now I've got my head screwed on, and now I know what's happening. So Team Piñas have beaten Team Omega by 7 matches to 2. Breaking the System have beaten VP4 TV by 8 matches to 1. But once again, the only player in the VP4 TV team that has come up with the points, I think maybe for is it the second week in a row at least, was Mark Shark, and even then that was against a player who was given 6 and out to. So that was still a good result for Mark Shark. And Steve and Popman, again, both of them getting the 8 ball against Larry, the 7 ball against Cobra in that first match, but coming out 7-5 and 7-4. And then Steve against Cobra actually had chances to get back right into the match. Blew it at the end though against Cobra. Larry 7-2 up. A 7-2 win against Mark Shark, who was getting the 8 ball. And then Mark Shark getting the 5 ball against Cobra. The poor safety in the 6 ball at the end there ended his chances. Cobra gave him the possibility there to pinch another rack. And Mark couldn't take that opportunity. And Larry winning against Popman 7 racks to 3. And then Steve-O getting hit hard by the 5 and out from Christian and going down 7-3. And the matches that remain are in the lovely bunch of coconuts match. 4-2 up they are at the moment. They're also in the lead in the top match. Vertical Liquid's now 3-1 up against Sergaresh. Vertical Liquid getting the 5 ball. Bankster, the dangerous man with a handicap, keep telling people that. He's getting 8 ball against Bill. He's 3-1 up. And Bobby Barris is 3-1 up again. Sorry, tell a lie. It's 3-all against John Boo. So let's go in and have a look at this final set of matches, or look at this one between Bankster and Bill. Bill at the table. Good evening, Cobra. It was your fault. Yeah, you did there, Cobra, but I mean, it wasn't quite as numptish as what Mark Sharp did, though, on that 6-ball. There was a couple of. I mean, I wasn't in my team's matches all night. I was keeping an eye on them. There was a couple of numpty shots that were played where shots weren't executed properly from players that are long-term experienced and should know better on my team. But, you have to have a wee bit of consistency, be able to pot 3 or 4 balls when you're given a chance. If you're getting a 5-ball against players like Larry, or the 8-ball against Larry and Cobra, and then you get pumped by giving 5 and out to somebody like Christian. So we had everything up against us tonight. And Bill, whoa, what's happened with the cue ball here? He's okay. Bill battling back though. Now what I'm thinking is, do I keep putting the same team in until they start bloody well winning? Do I keep doing that? Is that putting more pressure on them to perform, or are they going to finally get a bit of grit and pull off a win here or there? What do you do? So, Bill, little drop down onto the 6, and he should. Well, I say he should be back all square, but this 8-ball is just a bit of an annoyance to get to, where that 9-ball's sitting. It just plays in your mind a wee bit when you're trying to get decent on this 7-ball. I don't know that was the best idea. He's trying to just get back past the 9, which he's quite comfortable in doing. Got control of the drop and a little roll through, 9-ball into the side. With that kind of shot that Bill played there, you have to be comfortable in playing a shot like that and being able to execute it. Simple little shots like that, where you're in control of the draw, it makes a situation that looks as if it wasn't so great being dead straight, but being comfortable and just drawing back past the 9-ball with no problem at all. There's a lot of players would fall well short of the mat there in trying to get to that ball. Well, the good news for semi-pro is he doesn't need to play any of the remaining matches. He can just leave his team the way it is. They're doing well enough as they are. I'll just leave my team the way they are until they win something. So, yeah, you're going about it the wrong way though, Potman. The idea isn't to keep on losing just to by the time we're in the 16th week of this, you might be getting 5 and out if you keep playing the way you are. You and Steve will just keep playing the way you are. We'll all eventually be getting 5 and out. but then it's far too late. We won't be in any playoffs or anything like that. We'll be well down holding up the rest of the field. I don't think anybody knows what it's based on, Bedhead. I've got no clue. It's certainly not based on the fact that you play 9-ball every day when you get the chance. There was no consideration of that into my rating getting increased. My rating was only increased because I won a couple of matches. That's how my rating was increased. There was no bearing taken in the fact that I don't play 9-ball at all. I've not played 9-ball in a challenge room for I don't know how long, but there was no consideration taken into that at all. I think it was just the fact that I talk a better game than I play that was taken into consideration, and also semi-pro burning Steve's ears. So where have we got to in this match? We're at 3 racks all. We've got Bankster at the table. He's trying to hold on this 3-ball, and he hasn't. Is this the last match of the night? What's still going on here? No, we've still got the other ones going, haven't we? Now Bill's needing, not Bill, Bankster's needing a roll, and he's got it. Yeah, and I beat him because you look at him, he can't pot a bloody ball, that's why. The guys that I beat just couldn't get the job done. And anybody that can pot a ball is always going to beat them. There's a match tonight with Vertical Liquid and whoever it was that was playing. Took an hour and 10 minutes for a race to 7. I mean, that's ridiculous. Bear in mind there isn't a shot clock. In fact, that's a pretty damn good reason for having a shot clock in the league. There's no way a match should take an hour and 10 minutes. So Bankster, the most dangerous player with a handicap, or to give a handicap to, is going to get himself back into the lead. So, final reminder for anybody who's still watching in the UK, don't forget to put your clocks back. As soon as I'm finished the stream, I will put my clock back an hour, the one that's in front of me. My alarm will be put back an hour. My house phone, because I use a clock radio alarm, and I use my house phone as an alarm as well. Both of them go off in the morning, so I'll set the clocks on them. I don't need to set my wristwatch back because it's done by satellite, I believe. There's a signal sent to my watch that will put the clock back, and that way I don't get up too early for work. So meanwhile, Bankster's at it again. Just needs to see the 4-ball, get out onto the 5, get good in the 6, and he should be home and dry here in this rack. Now, anywhere in the top half of the table on the left side, Now you might want to check the cue ball a wee bit, I don't know, just to make sure it's taking a path sort of up the middle of the table. I haven't been behind it to see the angle that he's got, but sometimes you just tweak it a wee bit to straighten the cue ball a bit. Now it's got to have the legs to get there, and it has done. Yeah, my microwave, my microwave's never got the clock set. When I put in the microwave, I just hit power, put the time, and hit start. And the car clock is done through my sat nav. You just go into the menu because it's like one of these wee computer displays. You get into the menu and you hit. There's a tab that you tab from British summertime to GMT, and it just sets the clock. But you've got to remember to do it. So Bankster with a 2-rack lead and a ball in the break and no great shot in the one. Goodness me, I don't know what the hell, whoever this guy is that's letting these fireworks off up here, he must have spent a fortune on them, because they sound like bloody dynamite, you know. And that's people with more sense. They've got bloody money to burn when they're spending that. That's no good. That's a big fail. That was a sort of half-hearted attempt to get Bill hooked on the 9. And Bill is going for a 1-9 combo. And that ain't getting there. He might regret that. Is it? Is it going to get there? No. He might regret it. Bill didn't fancy having a go at the run out. And meanwhile, Bankster's hitting his replay button just to annoy Bill and the viewing audience. Let's have a look. Yes, they are. Alright. Well, Bobby Barris is 5-4 up. Bankster's leading Bill at the moment. Sergresh 5-3 up as well. So they could pinch this at the end of the night. And Bankster, well, I mean, it all looks too easy, this, doesn't it? Just get some sort of shot in the 7 ball off this 6. Now, what's the safest route to go here? Well, to me, you stun it in and come out, but you don't want to go into the side pocket, but you don't want to go behind the 8 ball either. Yeah, this is a bit... well, I think you've just got to be brave and play it, haven't you? I mean... Yeah, he's been brave, he's played it, and he's right on the spot. That will do very nicely indeed. You see, Bankster's a dark horse when it comes to giving handicaps. So he is. He's sitting there getting the 8 ball against Bill and given half a chance. If he can see balls on this table, he's generally going to run out. And he'll get to that money ball, given the opportunity. And Bankster on the hill. Let's have a quick look. Well, we'll see the break first. And the 7 ball's gone in. Cue ball's heading the same direction. No, right. So Bill comes to the table at his mercy. Quick look. We've got Bobby Barris on the hill. 6-4 up against John Boot. We've got Sergresh still by 3 up against Vertigo Liquid, and then this match that we're in. And Bill, well, again, got to be running out. Well, this will be a great final session for 9-ball shots if they can pull this off. And Bill is trying to make life difficult for himself here because now he's in bedhead zone. And that's a good pace in the 5-ball though. It's going to be nicely on the 5. And a good angle. Nothing to do with the cue ball. Just get it out into the table. Well, I know I'd be going forward and just coming back into the table and playing the 8 into the same pocket. That way I'm just adjacent to the 9 in the side. Bill's got the same idea. I mean, you just gently roll this down the rail. You're always on the 9. You don't have to do anything with the cue ball. So, is the recovery still on here? Is Bill going to thwart Bankster from getting the win on the board? Well, Bill, I think, has come up dry. Going to be funny getting on the 2 because he's all. Now again, you've just got to play the little stun, avoid the 8-ball, but you've got to stun it, not draw it. You see, he's got too much draw in that. He didn't play the sort of just below centre stun, slightly fraction below it, maybe just to get down that way rather than heading towards the 3 there. You get a little bit of draw in that. I mean, he's still got the. Well, he had the cut. But again, Bankster, using his head, has left Bill in a spot of bother. Well, what we're talking about now in the chat, what am I missing here? I'm too busy focusing on this match. Steve, are teams allowed to bring in bankers like Cobra into their team for 1 week and then throw them out the next week? Is that the general idea? Well, Bankster, with ball in hands, killed 2 birds with 1 stone there. He's broke out the 4-ball in potting, I think it was a 3 he potted. But he's going to have to come up with something on this 5-ball as well. When's my rating getting dropped down, Steve, and then I'll start playing again? Because my team's falling apart. Not that I'm going to change fortunes. Well, Bobby Barris has got that point in the board against John Boot, 7 racks to 4. Quick look, and 9-ball shots are back to within a point. And meanwhile, Bankster doing his best to try and hook himself. But if Bankster can get this cue ball out into the table, onto the 8. It should be another point in the bag to square tonight's tie at 4 matches all, and he's almost got there. So now, this 8 ball to seal the deal. Well, now he's thinking about it, you see. Now he's thinking about it. That's never a good sign. He's thinking about it. You know, you're looking at that, you see the shot, you play the shot. He's now thinking about it. And in it goes. And so that has left everything hinging on the match between Sergaresh and Vertical Liquid, and Sergaresh is 6-4 up. And if Sergaresh can come out on top in this match, then 9 ball shots have pinched the victory over Lovely Bunch of Coconuts, after Lovely Bunch of Coconuts were looking at running away with this one. And Sergaresh has a 2-9 combo. Where's the cue ball going? Oh dear. So, ball in hand for Vertical Liquid. The 2 and the 3. Make sure you can see the 4 for the 4-7 combo. And of course, Vertical Liquid is getting a 5 ball. Now, that shot was not good. Okay, he's on the 4, but again, letting the cue ball run away is never a good sign. And that was not a good shot either, because again, there's no control attempted with the cue ball there. Well, I've seen Vertical Liquid and Bobby Barris tonight in that match early on, and these two guys definitely need some advice and help. Whether they're willing to take it, I don't know, but they're doing silly things. And Sergaresh has been gifted this on a plate. And so it's the steal of the week here. And Sergaresh completes the comeback victory by 7 racks to 4, but in the overall scheme of things, it's turned into a bit of a damp squib. Talking of fireworks, a bit of a damp squib for Lovely Bunch of Coconuts, because they were looking good all night. But 9 ball shots have had a clean sweep in that final session there. Sergaresh beating Vertical Liquid 7-4. Bankster beating Mr. Bill 7-4. And Bobby Barris beating John Boo 7-4. So it's 7-4s all the way. But overall, it's 5-4 9 ball shots have beaten Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. Meanwhile, the second tie, we won't mention that. The top one, Team Omega and Team Piñas. Team Piñas have got another win, which probably puts VP4 TV in the bottom. Team Piñas has 7-2 win. Let's look at the summary. Oh no, we're now tied in the bottom, along with Team Piñas. Meanwhile, Breaking the System have knocked Lovely Bunch of Coconuts off the pile, or the top of the pile. They're tied with 6-3 in terms of wins and losses. But the overall wins, I think, is what's putting them in front in terms of matches won and lost, because they've Breaking the System's won 50 and lost 31. Bunch of Coconuts have won 48 and lost 32. VP4 TV have had a nightmare these last 3 weeks. None less than tonight again. But there's still a long way to go. Still a long way to go. The schedule for next week, let's have a look at that. We've got 9 Ball Shots versus Omega. We've got Lovely Bunch of Coconuts against Breaking the System. And Team Piñas versus VP4 TV next week. What else do we need to see? I don't think we need to see anything. I think that's us seen everything, isn't it? That's all there is to see. So, maybe next week I need to practice. Right, so, again, a final reminder, guys. We have the One Lost Side match tomorrow night between Spectre Dawn from representing the United Kingdom and Barker's 155 representing England. Race to 13 to see who's going to play Stubb in effectively the second semi-final, if you want to call it that. To see then who is going to find their way through to get a going over by Albinario. That's the way it looks. It doesn't really look as if it matters who gets to play Albinario, whoever it is going to end up. If they play to the level Stubb was playing at last night, it's not good enough. It's way short of the mark. So good luck to both guys tomorrow night. I hope you can join us. Don't forget to put the clocks back. That's the second final reminder I'm going to say tonight. Thanks all for watching. Well done to the teams that won tonight. Better luck next week again for VP4 TV and the other guys. So till then, we'll bid you good night. Stay safe, and we will see you tomorrow.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
This'll bloody work before I go to bed. Then again, maybe not. Oh, nothing's working now.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.